ladies and gentlemen, we have eruptive solar flares that are briefly ionizing the upper part of Earth's atmosphere, causing a shortwave radio blackout in these areas, with multiple sunspots on the sun right now and a coronal hole, giant coronal hole, which will be facing our way and hitting us with fast solar wind in the near future. Plus, a full moon coming on the 27th. So the energy is probably going to be a bit wild. Hey, what a February it has been. And I don't know if you know this, but every single month I do a fundraiser as your Planetary Defense Commander, Star-Lord New Thor 7, the T, to keep THORnews up and running. How it works is I give my all month, and then hopefully I did a good enough job that it comes back to me. So if you'd like to contribute to THORnews and keep me up and running, giving you guys great information, I got a feeling I'm definitely going to need a mailbox miracle in March. So this is my address. I got a PayPal. Hopefully it will make it through. I don't know, Elon may be mad at me. I got a Venmo, a CashApp, a Patron, and a whole lot of love for you as we enter the Ides of March 2021 and reflect back on February. We only got $1,763 left to raise for 5.5 days to go. And thank you very, very much to Cody and Andrea and everybody in Asteroid Fight Club. And with all this energy hitting Earth and, all gas giants on the same side, we have been on a earthquake and volcano watch all through February, and that continues. And I do want to mention that Dutch Synth, who covers earthquakes on YouTube, I don't agree with his political views, but his earthquake work is awesome, and he is looking out for a larger earthquake release sometime over the next few days. So keep your head up. Immediate weather dangers to look out for over the next 2 weeks. In the first week, this area will be looking out for major flooding as we transition from winter into spring, and the high pressure system moves all the moisture across this area, and the models are showing quite a few storms headed for California. I would like to point out again, I have a personal weird indicator that is fog. I don't know why, but like when you see the entire coast foggy, especially like 10 days after it was super freezing cold, that just seems weird to me. And then you got this area is entirely in a flash flood watch. There has been major and massive flooding in South Carolina. And so, yeah, February is probably going to keep on Februarying. And now we're taking a look at the latest GFS model run, which spans over 16 days and is always just a data point to take a look at because things are always bound to change. But what we do is we watch for trends. And so the trends are definitely looking over the last few days like there will be a lot of rain that will protrude through these areas, and it may be some slow-moving storms. Slower-moving storms mean more rain. And if you will also take a look at the West Coast, they're going to be getting hit with quite a few storms as well from California through Oregon, Washington, and Canada. And then all of this is going to move to the west. I imagine the south will stay mostly warmer, and you'll still be getting, snow up through the north through large portions of March. And we're watching out for a bigger storm around the first week of March, and this would be that storm. Some models have drawn as bigger, some models have drawn as smaller, but notice how it takes its sweet-ass time. So the storm breaks out around the 5th, and this is the storm we've been watching for like 10 days now. And so usually if I give you a 10 days head up on a storm, it's for a reason. And so the storm starts around the 5th, and then it goes to the 6th, and notice how it kind of stops, slows down, and then drops a whole lot of heavy rain, and then doesn't really move out until the 9th. So there's like a 4-day storm to go from here to here. So that definitely has a chance to cause a lot of flooding if we get closer to a worst case scenario. I only said Worcester because think about Worcestershire sauce. I mean, I was trying to be funny. Do that every once in a while to diffuse the tension. And there's still tension and pressure everywhere, especially on me, because the last 2 fundraisers have been kind of slow. But because our government has been slow to help out all the people during a pandemic year, it seems like most people are short on money. And the people who already had tons and tons and tons and tons of money have made a lot more somehow from what could or could not be called pandemic profiteering. Who knows? But this is a 48-hour precipitation loop, and you can see there's a whole lot of rain on here. There is quite a bit of snow, and there's even some ice and sleet in some areas. So the weather will continue to be weathering. As of right now, February 26th, 9 p.m., you've got a good chunk of rain moving out of the northeast. And across the way, you've got a tropical cyclone. Marianne is now Category 2 on the BOM, or strong tropical storm, on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale of the Cocos Islands. Marianne can peak as a Category 2 equivalent early next week, but is no longer a land threat. But this is just a reminder that we are only about 97 days away from hurricane season. And yes, technically this is a red alert video because, as TDS Weather points out, there's a high consistency in data for heavy rainfall across southern portions of the Ohio Valley region in the next 6 days. New rainfall coupled with snowmelt upstream could lead to flooding. This will primarily impact southern Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, and Kentucky. The volcano we know as Mount Etna has been freaking out and is continuing to freak out on pretty epic levels, and will probably continue to freak out and maybe even get more volcano-y. Man, I'm really going to have to jazz up my game and show more interesting stuff this month, I guess. This was in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. And flood season pretty much runs until hurricane season, so, you got to keep an eye on it, because water can really mess stuff up. This is a major cleanup underway in far north. After flooding in Australia, emergency left homes inundated, streets underwater, and caused a spectacular freight train derailment. Radar Omega is letting us know we had 2-inch hail reported in Bogota, Texas, yesterday. And they had strong winds in the Rocky Mountains. But the Rocky Mountains could probably handle it. You know what I'm saying? The UNDRR is reminding us that too many people die in earthquakes because of poor planning and failure to implement adequate building codes. So everybody out there, be sure and implement adequate building codes as soon as possible. And the transition from one month to another is always kind of weird for me. Culture Volcan, this is the Raum. They have been having volcanic activity there as well. It appears they're going to keep the doomsday clock at 100 seconds from total disaster. So that is neutral news. There have been record inflows into the stock market since the election. So that is interesting. But yeah, Volcano Etna, if the amazingly regular current activity continues, a new lava fountaining episode known as paroxysm is likely to occur, and expected by many during the following night. And like I said, I think Etna is going to be going nuts probably all year, and may turn into one of the most major stories of 2021. And yeah, although the portions of the Northeast may be experience winter precipitation to begin the weekend, many more locations will have rain instead of ice or snow as compared to the previous events we just had. I would guess winter has peaked, but I don't know, 2021 is going to be filled with surprises. Cinnabung Volcano, activity update, growing lava dome, incandescent avalanches, pyroclastic flows, and that's the serious stuff, volcanian explosions. The activity at the volcano continues to be very high. All right. And even at the beginning of flood season, buildings were submerged after flash flooding in Conway, South Carolina, near the Wakawa River. My throat went dry all of a sudden. Many homeowners are still recovering after the flooding. Dada Boo, the Florida Wavemaster, is letting us know that the models are totally in a toss-up over that March storm we're looking for. I think it's going to be a pretty decent one, and so let's go with that. Prepare for the worst and pray for the best. That's how we do it. All right? This has been another fantastic THORnews episode. And hey, if you would like to contribute to keep me doing what I do, I would super duper duper appreciate it. And I will pray for a March mailbox miracle. I got snail mail, 5430 Birdwood Road, number 416, Houston, Texas, 77096. A PayPal, a Venmo, a CashApp, a Patron. And thank you very much to Cody, Andrea, everyone in Asteroid Fight Club. I only got $1,763 left to raise with 5.5 days to go. And those links will be in the information box. And life is a total absolute cliffhanger. For example, scientists at BAS News in Antarctica have been expecting a big calving event for at least a decade. This morning, it finally happened when a massive iceberg broke off the Brunt ice shelf. They say it is the size of Los Angeles. And yeah, dude, the planet is changing. The whole world is changing. Everything's changing. I think the solar system is changing. And so we will just have to stay tuned and do our best and hopefully work together. And I will remain optimistic with a sense of humor as long as I can. God bless everyone. Stay cool. I love you. I appreciate you. Peace out. May the force be with you always. And let us live long and prosper together. Yo.